Alrighty, so we've now cleared one of the Legendary Beasts dungeons. I totally didn't just go clear Tiny Woods at the beginning of this recording to make the day roll over to a new one here for the start of this episode here. So next place that we have is, what was it called? I know that it's the electric type one. What was it called again? I don't remember. Sure, let's take that there. What is it called? Let's get some items to prepare first. What was it called? I've already forgotten. I was going to say lightning field, but I was like, no way, it's just called lightning field. It's gonna be something that's like electric-y without being lightning. I was thinking about saying lightning field, but I was like, no, that can't be it. Surely. It's lightning field. It's lightning field. We're going to lightning field. Anyway, let's see here. I've got a couple perfect apples. I've got a bunch of regular apples in case some Pokemon in the dungeons have the munchies. 2 perfect apples just for myself, some max elixirs, oran berries, reviver seeds. I should bring some stuff for a boss, is what I should do. I don't need that. Alright, let's take some stuff for a boss. I already have a pounce wand. Here. Getting a little bit disturbed that I'm talking now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'll try not to bother you too much. Anyway, let's see here. Let's get an extra reviver seed just in case. I'll take some orbs to deal with bosses and such. I have buffed Heracross since last time, I think. I'm pretty sure I have. I was talking about doing that. Let's see here. Do we want to... Yeah, maybe we'll take an all power up orb and an all protect orb. And then maybe 1 extra revive all orb. Just in case. Just in case there. Now, we should have lots and lots of supplies prepared for this journey here. I've only got 3 more uses of the Pounce Wand and only 7 more of the Slumber Wand. I'm running out here. I'm running out of my wand uses. Alright, let's go ahead and go to Lightning Field. Time for another new dungeon here. I might start out as Heracross just to try to befriend some Pokemon for along the way, since Heracross is friendbo friendly and false swipe. Maybe. Oh, Mount Thunder! Yeah! Wait, who dis? That's a Mareep. Why does... I don't know, its colors just seem strange for that angle. Goodbye, Mareep. Looks like we've already got a monster house on the first floor. In that case, I'm just gonna stay as myself here for a hot second and then, get some jamming music here, see if we can recruit anybody in this room real quick. Oh, there's an Electrike. Sweet! I don't even have an Electrike yet. Yeah, let's get the squad decked out here. Just 1? Oh well, 1's better than nothing. Smeargle's level 90 now. Isn't that something? Well, let's take out those other Magnemites, I guess. Oh, one of them wants to join me too. Sweet. I don't have them in a camp because my first Magnemite I evolved was the case. I do worry about the game being too loud. It's looking a bit close right now. I'll just turn it down like a notch and a half like that. I don't know. I am concerned about traps. What are all these? Tiny Reviver Seeds. Sweet. I do have to use a Cleanse Orb on it apparently, but... Okay. Well, that's a fantastic way to start the dungeon. Apparently, I don't know how movement works. Looks like Pin Missile's gonna upgrade. Oh yeah, I replaced freaking Brutal Swing with Pin Missile because Stab multi-hit. Like, I took off Pin Missile before being like, oh, it's not as good as Bullet Seed anyway. Like, it doesn't hit as many times. It's 2 to 3 times instead of 3 to 5. But it's still nice that it's ranged, and it's also a stab move, which is the thing. And also, Heracross's ability is Swarm, which makes its Bug-type moves stronger when its health is low. But what's the point in having that if you don't have any Bug-type moves? So yeah, now Heracross has a stab move that can also be buffed by Swarm if his health gets low. And yeah, so there's that. A little bit of a move replacement there. Sleep Seed, okay. Okie doke then. Anyway, so in recent events, oh dang it. In recent events, today I was working on my first final for my university semester being online, which is you know, very strange feeling doing a final at home. And because it's at home, this professor and another professor just decided that like we'd be able to do the final over the course of several days, and instead of being like one big prompt, it would be like several short answer kind of prompts. So I've been writing little bits of it here and there. It's for my use of history in video games class, is what it is. Is this another monster house down here? I sure hope so. Probably isn't, but it could be. It could well be. I hope so. Oh, now I'm slow. Oh, it totally is, isn't it? Heck yeah. Let's jam with that awesome music there. Anyway, so I have a few prompts that I need to respond to on a few different subjects. Like, one of them is on historical accuracy in video games. Like, what do you have to look out for when judging a game for its historical accuracy? And like, do games even have to be historically accurate? Such and such. And basically, I talked about how, oh, Magnemite wants to join me. Yes, I talked about how Magnemite wants to join me here. Let's check for traps because they're gonna be around. I'll get back onto my rant once we're done checking for traps here. Never mind. Never mind. Have fun checking that room. I'm gonna go find the stairs. Have fun, nerds. Oh, I love how they just come right to me. That's nice. Anyway, I'm gonna find these stairs, but they're not here apparently. Hi. I do have attacks on right now, right? Okay, cool. Okay, cool then. Oh. Let's maybe just get to the end of this floor and then I'll keep ranting. Alrighty, so basically for this prompt, oh, there's a Pikachu. Oh, I'm getting distracted again. It's a Pikachu. Come along, Pikachu. Oh, heck yeah. Come along, I don't have a Pikachu yet. Anyway, I wrote about how video games will oftentimes abstract the past. They'll make things up or change events because at the end of the day, they are, you know, a company selling a product, so they have to make some changes here and there. And these are several examples that we've covered in class before. For example, looking at how Battlefield portrays the First World War. I've never played Battlefield. I'm pretty sure it was the First World War that was portrayed in it. So if I'm wrong and it was a different one, then whoops. But anyway, it focuses, I'm fairly certain that Battlefield 1 was on World War 1. I'm fairly certain. Oh, I have a heal seed. Isn't that cool? Basically, how that game focuses on, like, the combat and, like, never a dull moment. There's always fighting going on, and, like, the glory of it and yada yada. When, in reality, it was trench warfare, and more people died from illness or malnutrition than actually being in combat. But because they're selling a game, like, Forge a Path. Like, who's gonna be entertained by a game of, you know, sitting around in trenches all day and hoping that you don't get sick, I guess. You know, so there's cases like that where it's for the sake of gameplay. Other times it's for a more engaging experience in the story. For example, my main essay that I wrote for this class was on Assassin's Creed 2, and I wrote about how that game will oftentimes portray the same historical outcomes of events, but these things will happen as a direct consequence of Ezio's actions in the game. So by creating a narrative like that, where the player is directly the cause of several of these historical events, where history shapes out the way it does due to the player's action or inaction, it creates a more engaging experience in that way by making you feel like you're helping to shape history through the narrative there. It's a very interesting way to do that. But in terms of actual history playing out the way that it's known to in, like, history books and such, like, video games aren't exactly too reliable of a source for that, because they have to change some things like this, either for them to make an argument or just because they have a product to sell, you know? But even if they're not able to portray history the way that, you know, it's known to be, they can still make arguments about the past and teach similar lessons about the past, another monster house, even if it's not like the exact way that events unfolded in the way that we commonly accept them. And even the way, oh, I need a plusle, don't I? Dang it. I can recruit one of them at another place though. At, like, Thunderwave Cave, I'm fairly certain. That's the reason I knew I needed a Plusle, because the Plusle's the only Pokemon I haven't recruited from Thunderwave Cave. Another one. Hey, look, a Jolteon, my camera's blocking it. Oh, several Jolteons, my goodness. But anyway, I also briefly talked about, like, what is it that is historically accurate anyway. What history is the use of... there's another Pikachu. You don't have a rare quality, I'm just gonna say no. Why, there like no rare qualities? Oh, Jolteon wants to join me. I already have 2 Jolteons, and you don't have a rare quality, so you can just go home. Okay. Anyway, what history... Oh, there is another Jolteon there. I hit A to check for traps, but okay. What history is the use of primary sources and other accounts to create a narrative about the past and make arguments about the past, essentially. Like, we weren't there when these events happened, so all we can do is look at the evidence and have our best guess at what happened with the evidence and hope that we come, like, as close to the truth as we can, essentially. Another freaking monster house, huh? Over yonder way. Okay. So essentially, like, different historians or different, like, people who view said evidence of the past may interpret it in different ways and construct a... Oh, there's a training switch there. And construct a different narrative about the past. So, when it comes to video games, they are still using evidence to construct a narrative about the past, but they're just interpreting it in a different way. Like, sure, I'm pretty sure in a case of like Assassin's Creed, I'm pretty sure no one's gonna seriously believe that there was an assassin named, you know, Ezio going around killing Templars or anything like that. But it's still using like evidence of the time to construct a story around that, to construct a narrative around it, and oh look, the stairs are in here. To create a narrative about the past and arguments about the past. Oh my goodness, my Blizzard Miss Jolteon. Do you have a rare quality plusle? No? Okay, you're not cool enough then. You're not cool enough in that case. So, yeah, I mean, one of the most important parts... Oh, I apparently have a Flaffy anyway. One of the most important parts about history, and one of the main reasons why people tell history at all, is for the lessons that we can learn from history, whether it be not repeating past mistakes, or just having insight into our past, or many other thingamabobs there. Let me just... Actually, nah, let's eat a perfect apple and then pick up one of these ones, I guess. Methinks is what we'll do. So, I don't know, some accounts by games could still be teaching the same lessons that actual history would, but with a different narrative. I don't know. Dang it! What's this seed? What is it? I want it. I need it in my life. Okay? I mean, cherry berries could be decently handy in a dungeon full of electric types, but I mean... let's see here. Let's boopity-bop, pick that up. Hi, Cacturn. Hi there. I'm pretty sure I already have a Cacturn. Yes, I do. Indeedly do. So, essentially one of these prompts where... Oh, there was a training switch there. I was wondering what they were going for, whether it was a sparkly tile on the floor or something like that. Anyway, so basically I was writing about how video games can't be considered, like, historically accurate to the point that they can be used, like, in place of textbooks or something like that, or other academic sources. Because if they were accurate to the point that they could be used as stand-ins, then they wouldn't be video games as we know them, essentially. But they can still be used to show a different perspective, to show different arguments, because... like, there's whatever perspective their developers are trying to show through the story that they're telling, and the arguments that they try to make through whatever story that they're telling by venturing into the past like that. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. So, I think that games that explore the past... Oh my goodness, so many apples. I think games that explore the past can be worthwhile to look at just to get another perspective on it, to potentially hear some other arguments to these historical situations. Some other opinions, some other arguments, stuff like that. Maybe learn some other lessons from the past. Like, be able to see through someone else's eyes there, but... You know... you know, not to be considered, like, factual portrayal of history, but still learning of the times, and some lessons of the times, you know, if that makes sense there. This has been a very interesting class that I've taken here. It's been an absolute pleasure being in this class. Probably one of the funnest ones that I've been in. At first I thought Jolteon wanted to join me. I was like, why couldn't I turn on auto mode at first? Uh-oh. Rutro. Jolteon wants to join me. Do you have a rare quality? No? Okay, you're not cool enough. I'm sorry, Jolteon. Anyway, oh, there's an apple. Well, let's eat it, I guess. My, oh my. I'm hungry now that I've eaten the apple. And I was briefly talking about how, like, one can consider the arguments that are made by games. Is that something that we've talked a decent bit about while in this class? Uh-oh. Rutro. Thank goodness for Barrage. Wait. Oh, Spiky Shield. Again, thank goodness for Barrage. Anyway, oh, I guess I can't eat that. One of the more interesting subjects that we've talked about in this class is how games make arguments. Like, either through the story that they tell, or through the things that they choose to include or exclude. Like, oh, I'll take these, thank you very much. Like, for example, games that have a character creator, for example. Like, I don't need the blast seed there. Like, games where you design an avatar at the beginning of the game. What kind of arguments does it make by its default? Apparently, like, from what I've seen in this class, it seems like almost every game that has a character creator, like when you first boot it up and go to make your avatar, almost always it will default to a white male. And it's like, why does this have to be the default? Like, what kind of arguments is the game making by, like, saying that this is the kind of default first option kind of thing? Like, there are some games that handle it a bit differently. Like, if you've played Pokemon Sun and Moon or Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm fairly certain that the two options are shown side by side of both a male and female trainer, and all kinds of different skin tones. I'm pretty sure it just shows them all, like, laid out for you to select from. Like, nothing immediate that's in your face or anything like that, which is a pretty cool way to handle it, actually. Let's boopity bop Blizzard. We'll do that. Yeah, that dude over there was frozen. Can I hit this plus with Blizzard from here? Oh, heck yeah. I didn't hit whoever was down there, though. Or games that focus on history. What kind of arguments does it make by choosing to include or exclude different things? Like, for example, there was this one part of class. Oh, there's a Kecleon shop over there. There was this one lecture one day where we were looking at a trailer for a Battlefield game. I've never played Battlefield before, so I can't say which one it was. That's not the kind of games that I'm into there. Hi. And in this trailer that was portraying the First World War there, one of the characters that it depicted in the trailer, one of the main characters of the trailer, was a woman, and apparently, oh, there's an evolution crystal there. Apparently that's something that a lot of people judged, being like, oh, that's not historically accurate. There were no women fighting in that war. Well, there were actually plenty, as our professor pointed out soon after, and made an interesting note how it wasn't that they didn't participate in the war. It's not that they didn't participate in that form of history. It's that they were erased from it, essentially, which is very interesting to think about there. Whoa! How about you don't do that? Do you have a rare quality? Nobody has a rare quality, I swears it. My, oh my. But anyway, the professor put up a bunch of quotes on the screen from people, like, reviewing the trailer on these blogs and stuff like that, saying things like, oh, by including a woman in this trailer, Battlefield has gotten rid of, like, all semblance of realism, as the professor then, like, plays a clip of an airplane flying towards the player upside down and the player climbing into the tail gunner's seat, like, through the propeller. And then the plane takes off again. And then the professor shows other similar quotes about people judging Battlefield's realism based on them including a woman, as he shows a clip of, like, one dude riding a horse while two guys are, like, standing on the horse as it runs through a battlefield, and they have, like, flamethrowers blaring. It's like, yes, with that portrayal of including a woman in the game, they totally got rid of all realism there, when, as also noted there, as the Professor soon showed to us, it's not that... Oh, there's a barboach there. It's not that there weren't women in the war, it's that they aren't the ones that are talked about, like in history books and such. Because I guess whoever was recounting the facts didn't think that it was as important, I guess, which is a common theme throughout history, I guess, is people being like, oh, this isn't as important as this other thing, let's not mention it, I guess. So there's several cases of that where it's like, it's not that so-and-so group didn't partake in history, it's that they aren't the ones that are talked about. Let's see here. But anyway, on the... Ooh. Dang. I was hoping that Zigzagoon... Not Zigzagoon! Freaking Zangoose! Yeah, Zigzagoon. My goodness. Smeargle's gonna get to level 100 soonish. Anyway, when... Oh, this is the last time Smeargle can learn Sketch naturally without going to Gulpin, huh? Isn't that interesting? But anyway, while we were talking on that subject about people judging Battlefield for its realism like that, we talked about how games, or how people will critique games for their accuracy based on the social and cultural aspects of it, like that, instead of on the physical parts of it, like, I don't need Barboach. Instead of on the physical parts of it, like being able to climb into a plane as it flies by, or being able to have several people standing on a horse with flamethrowers. Like, people don't target the physical parts of it, like maybe just attributing it to just being a game or such. But in judging its realism, they'll judge the social and cultural aspects of it, and that's oftentimes the way that it is in other media as well, which is very interesting to see how people will specifically target social and cultural parts of media for what they believe to be realism and not the other aspects of it. Very interesting how those aspects in specific are picked out, essentially. So, that's probably not a monster house over there. It's probably just a bunch of items. So this has probably been one of my favorite classes that I've taken, honestly. Hi there, Ampharos. Oh, hello. More cherry berries. Watch this be a monster house too. It is. Oh my goodness, thank goodness I have Blizzard. Because, hoo boy. Hey look, a chest, I love those. Nobody wanted to join me though. I am disappointed. Well, I've used so many Blizzards, holy crap. Well, let's just swap this for like an apple. Let's eat the apple actually. Is what we'll do. Traps? Oh, that's a lot of traps, isn't it? Hi, other traps. Oh my goodness, look at all these traps in this room. Always check monster houses for traps. My goodness. Increases special attack? Yes, let's make myself even more OP. Hey look, spikes. I love spikes. They're just the best. Hi there. Hi there, Minun. Would you like to be on your way, citizen? Alright, let's keep on going here. But yeah, it's definitely made me look at games in a different way. So, on the subject also of games making arguments, like there are some games that like go out of their way to make arguments. Some of them just kind of do it by accident or kind of do I want this? Maybe in place of an apple? I don't know. Some just kind of do without it being intentional by the devs, like a character creator kind of thing, where like whatever the default it's set to, like are the devs actively trying to make an argument about what the default is or should be? Maybe not, maybe it's unintentional. There are some games that exist like largely for making an argument though. Like the example that we used in class was a Flash game called Kaboom Kaboom, which is a Flash game where basically you had to go around trying to catch the cheeseburgers falling from the sky and avoid the bombs. And there was no way to win, you just go until you eventually die. And this is a game that was created at a time that the US was airdropping supplies and food out of the same planes that they were dropping bombs out of. So it's like, it's never directly stated anywhere in game, but you can tell that that's the kind of game that was made and exists for the purpose of telling an argument, essentially. Like, if I had to come up with my own example, like Undertale's probably a good example of a game that, like, largely exists with an argument in mind, with its narrative being, like, why do RPGs have to be like this? Why do you have to take out all these foes that you run into, I guess? Why can't you just find your own way, essentially? What the heck is going on down there? I mean, I'd rather use an Oran Berry than a Reviver Seed. Wow. Than this. Yeah, that's what a Reviver Seed is called. Or if I want to use a closer to home example with this series right now, to anybody who's seen my discussion on why Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is important to the Pokemon series, I stated that I believe that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon makes the argument that Pokemon games don't have to be like happy-go-lucky kind of easygoing, lighthearted, fun adventures. Like, they shouldn't be able, or they shouldn't have to be restricted to that kind of storytelling. They should be able to, you know, tell more serious storylines when they need to, like the Mystery Dungeon series does. That's the argument that I would argue that the Mystery Dungeon series makes, is that Pokemon doesn't need to be happy-go-lucky, all smiles and just fun adventures. It shouldn't not be allowed to cover darker themes and more serious subjects. That's the argument I think this series makes, in my opinion, as anybody who's seen my discussion of the Mystery Dungeon series knows. So it's very interesting to see video games in that light and to think about what kind of arguments they make. Like, I'm sure, oh my goodness, is that a Dusclops? I don't have one of those. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of games out there that don't exist, like, for making arguments. I mean, but at the end of the day, they're made to make a profit more than anything. But through the development of them and through playing them, it's interesting to see what arguments they wind up making along the way. Some of them being intentional by the devs or the writers or whoever. Some unintentional. Like a character creator, for example. Anyway, it's very interesting subject matter, I gotta say. Made me view games very differently. Well, I don't have a Dusclops though. And they're hella hard to recruit otherwise, because my Heracross that recruits them typically does whatever the fighting type multi-hit move is, which doesn't affect ghost types, into False Swipe, which also doesn't affect ghost types. So Dusclops would be harder to recruit down the line than one of these nerds. So let's get rid of Electrike. Is what we'll do there. I don't know why I'm checking for traps. This isn't a monster house. Anyway, I should probably... I got 2 more use of Blizzard, then I'll use my freaking Max Elixir. Because I like to conserve things, I guess. I don't know. Paint a Pokemon on this floor. Unless you have like the best rare quality ever, I'm not keeping you. Hey look, a Raichu. Isn't that something? Isn't that something there? Let's hope that this does enough. It did to Tropius at least, not to the other dude. Time to use a Max Elixir. That is an Ether. Max Elixir, please. There we go. Perfect. It's a Manectric. Unless you have the best rare quality ever, I'm not keeping you, Gulpin. But I brought plenty of apples just in case people had the munchies in this dungeon. Yeah, sorry, Gulpin, you're not cool enough to be on the team. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. Anyway, on the subject of the prompts that I'm answering for this class, another one of the prompts. Do I have a Tropius? Oh, I do, apparently. Sorry, you're not cool enough. Another one of the prompts that we have the option of answering is to an exchange that happens in Assassin's Creed 3 between the modern-day main character Desmond and one of his allies, Sean, where they're basically talking about how politicians in their time will bend history in various ways, or interpret it in different ways, I should say, saying that this founding father so-and-so agrees with me on this subject. Oh, look, here's a another monster house, with Shaw basically saying, like, who cares what they thought, and how can you claim to know what they thought, stuff like that. All that matters should be what you as an individual believe, not if, whoops, dang it. Not if some dead dude from hundreds of years ago, like, maybe agrees with you if you interpret this evidence in this very specific way. I don't know why I'm using Blizzard from this close. Don't know why I'm doing that. Oh, hello, friendos. So we can choose to respond to that with basically, like, how does it relate to the course material? And, like, what are your thoughts on it? Do you agree with some of the statements there? I don't have a Magneton, because my Magnemite I had before I evolved all the way into a Magnezone. I could just replace, like, my Magnemite that's here. Yeah, you don't even have a rare quality, so I'm getting you out of here, is the case. Must find Rostberry, huh? Wow, you really don't want me entering this monster house, huh? My goodness. Wow, really? Okay. My, oh my. Well. But anyway, I already have an idea in mind for how I can relate it back to the course material and such, talking about how, oh, I'm running out of apples here. Yes, talking about how I'm running out of apples. Talking about how games will choose to include certain things or not include certain things, and how, like, this evidence can be interpreted in different ways. Much the same in how that's the subject being talked about in the conversation, in the exchange between these characters, essentially. Is people interpreting the evidence in a way that, you know, helps them out, I guess. Let's see here. Any more traps? Okay, let's go to the stairs then. This is what we'll do. Hi. Hi there, Manectric. How you doing? Well, let's go on to the, what? No, I'm busting through the walls now. Because apparently I don't care. My goodness. There's a Rhyperior here? Yee, whoa. There's a what now? Oh, crap. I don't have a roll call orb, do I? Really? Well, I'm gonna be fine in the coming boss battle. I had no idea I had so many of those. Don't worry, it's fine. Maybe. Sure, that'll let you actually attack again. It's very good that the Manectric moved here, because now I can do this. Do I have a Manectric? I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, I do. I don't have an Electric, but I have a Manectric. Also, what's this doing here? It's just a Carbos all on its own. My, oh my. Well, let's increase our speed. Let's just give it to Heracross. Heracross isn't getting as much love when it comes to the stat boosting items and stuff. Anyway, that's probably enough ranting about my my class now. So yeah, I'm working on the final with these questions that I have for this class. I'll have a couple other ones coming up that I'll have to do over the next several days as well. And then after about the next week, oh yeah, Wary Walk. I don't have to worry about traps. Yeah, then after about another week and a half to be more precise, yeah, let's get Rhyperior is what we'll do. After about another week and a half, then this university semester will be over, and then I'll be committing more to content creation stuff because I have nothing else to do while this whole lockdown with the coronavirus is going on, essentially. So I've been working on throwing together a schedule for streaming right now. Oh, I got an empowerment seed. Right now, during the next 4 months during lockdown, I'm leaning towards potentially streaming on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like, that's a nice mix of days, isn't it? Who's coming this way? I'll see if it works out for me and such, so I'll be trying out that schedule, seeing if it works, changing it up if I decide, ugh, this schedule sucks. I hate streaming on these days for some reason. So we'll see what happens, and I definitely look very much forward to doing that. Look very much forward to trying out content creation with an actual schedule and such. And not stressing about uni stuff for a little while. You know. Alright, let's keep on going. We've got a few more floors to go. Let's see here. Oh, that was quick. That was a quick floor, wasn't it? What's this? Oh, stun seed. I don't need it. I don't think. Hey, look, stairs again. Oh my. Wait. I want that. Increase the attack. Let's give it to Heracross then. This is what we'll do. Give that thing to Heracross. Make him stronger. So is this the last floor or is the next one the last floor and it'll just have the boss on it? I just realized if I read out the stuff that they say, like after battle anyway, then I may as well read out the stuff that they say before battle. Like I didn't read that out just now. What if I just edited in me reading that out, and then it sounds like I did read it out, except it was like edited in after the fact. Should I do that? Let's use a Pounce Wand first and foremost. This is what we'll do. Yes. Let's do that. And then I should start using some of my orbs, I think. Maybe. Or maybe I mean, I brought some orbs for bosses, but then I remembered we kind of delete these bosses. So, you know, these could just be saved for harder bosses, considering, you know, we can kind of just do this. You know, we kind of just shred him a bit. Just a wee bit. Look at that! We just flinched twice now, thanks to Dusclops. Thank you, Dusclops. Well, you know. I feel a little bit bad for... He couldn't even get one hit in. How dare you! How did this happen? Regardless, you have won. Let me hear your wish. This is the Red Wing. You, stand back. I love feathers, let me take it! Ooh, Raiku's Thunderbolt electrified the Red Wing. The Red Wing transformed into the Sunset Wing. Its subtle gradation, of yellow to red is a truly beauteous sight. Go northeast, to a place called the Northwind Field. You'll find a Pokemon there named Suicune. If you're lucky enough to meet Suicune, perhaps your wish shall come true. Team and Harmonic received the Sunset Wing, and gained access to the Northwind Field. Sweet! Fantastic! Oh, no DX gummies though. I'll happily recruit everybody that we got there. Look at that, it's a cute Pikachu. Come along, Pikachu. I need you for science. You must join my team. This Forge a Path rare quality sure is spicy. I gotta say, it's definitely one of the spicier ones. I was feeding some DX gummies to some of my legendaries just so that they would actually get like some really good rare qualities. I'm pretty sure I got Rapid Bullseye on my Latias. I think I got Forge a Path on my Mew. It's it's interesting for sure. I gotta say. I was looking into what multi-hit moves Mew could get, and it doesn't look like a lot. Like, there's double hit as like a dragon-type move through Tutor, but like... There might have been one more. I think, oh yeah, Outrage is a dragon-type move for hitting 2 to 3 times, but I think it's it's not called double hit, it's called something else. It's a dragon-type move that hits twice. And then an Outrage, and I think those are the only 2 multi-hit moves that Mew can learn, which is unfortunate, because... You know, Mew is my favorite Pokemon, and I would love to just go through this game being OP as Mew. I mean, I am going through this game currently with a Pokemon who isn't a multi-hit user. Like right now, I'm not using any multi-hit moves on my own Pokemon. I don't think I can even learn any multi-hit moves on my own Pokemon. So I mean, Mew would probably already even be an upgrade. Maybe at some point. I mean, my own Pokemon has gotten so high level and so buffed by now that I don't know.